Hi everyone, Caoimhin here from MTU's Blackrock Castle Observatory. In today's video we are going to take a look at how the sky has changed now that we've come into summer, and we will also take a quick look forward towards the summer solstice, which is in just a couple of weeks. So the sun is setting, it's heading down in the northwest. If you've seen our past couple of videos, there's Mercury very quickly and briefly, followed by Venus, followed by Mars. None of those planets are going to be in the sky particularly long in the evening, but they are there as the sun sets if you'd like to try and catch them. Now that we're through to, this is 11:30, we'll push on to a bit closer to midnight. We can see that the very front of Scorpius is there in the south with Libra next to it. Higher in the sky on one side we've got Hercules, on the other we've got Boetes. So there's some nice clear constellations visible in the sky. Leo's over towards the horizon, Sagittarius will be rising as we get a little bit later, and truly over the east we have that lovely summer triangle. If we keep turning around back towards the north, you'll see that even here on the 12th, well, starting on the evening of the 11th, now through to the morning of the 12th, we've got that little bit of orangey yellow sunset, sunrise glow. And really, it's in between. It's neither the sunset nor the sunrise that we're seeing here. It's just a little bit of the sun's glow coming up over the horizon. And if we were to zoom back out, it would get even more obvious. This is because even at this time of the year, once you get close enough to the North Pole, the sun isn't setting. So a few degrees above us, there is the sun, even at this time of the night. And if we move forward, I hope you saw that the sky got just a little bit brighter there as we changed through the days. As we come up to the actual summer solstice, it's going to be a little bit bright, even in the middle of the night. So I'll bring us back to the 21st, a bit more accurate to the solstice. You can see there's a definite glow there above the northern horizon, and this is even more obvious in a dark sky, as with very nearly everything in astronomy. So we can see here, there's a bit of a glow pretty much at the base of where we'd be seeing the Milky Way at this time. And we can see that that's stretching up across the sky there. So this glow, it's, in other parts of the world, it would be the midnight sun, and indeed a few degrees higher up on the planet, that sun would be shining just like it would in the middle of the day. So for people who live a little bit closer to the North Pole for us, even in areas like Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, up towards the north, here on the 21st, the sun would be in the sky, not just under the horizon. We're a little bit closer to the equator, so it's under the horizon for us, but that light is still very much there. And it's more obvious in the countryside, but it's something that you can see from the city. So even though we don't have a midnight sun in the way that places closer to the North Pole do, the sun isn't above the horizon at midnight, but we can see the light of the sun at midnight creeping up over the horizon, especially as we come to the longest day of the year. Now, you might notice, even here, not quite on the longest day of the year, there is still a little bit of that glow visible. So it's the kind of thing that you can start looking for and start trying to see over the next few days. We are now through to 1 o'clock in the morning, so Sagittarius is up and Saturn is up. So you can start seeing planets like Saturn and Jupiter just a little bit after midnight, and indeed, as we come forward into the month, here's Jupiter and Saturn nice and high by 1 o'clock at the beginning of next month. So they're starting to come into the sky and become easier to see. For those of us who prefer observing our planets in the evening time, we might be losing Mars, Mercury, and Venus, but we're gaining here Jupiter and Saturn in the evening as we move forward. If we start taking a closer look, we've already taken deep looks into the glow of the Milky Way and all of this lovely smoky nebulosity. That's all going to be up pretty much at sunset over the next few days, should you get a chance to observe it, as well as that shape of the summer triangle, which of course has a lot of interesting nebulosity inside it. If you think back to some of our much earlier videos, much earlier in the year, we talked about the globular cluster, the Great Hercules cluster. So that's up there in Hercules. And this is the constellation that the Citizen Science Campaign Globe at Night will be using, not just for this week in the middle of June, but also for the middle of July. So if you can count how many stars are visible in the area of Hercules and submit them to the Globe at Night web app, it'll help give a better idea of the degree of light pollution in your area. So I think a good way to find Hercules, especially when it's this high in the sky, Vega and Arcturus, they're both very bright, and that kind of a trapezoid, it's not quite a square or a rectangle, it's a little bit off, but that's in there in between Vega and Arcturus here in Boetis. So that little rectilinear kind of shape is what we're looking at for trying to measure the light pollution. So we will very quickly demonstrate. I'll bring this over here so we can still definitely see Hercules. And we're just going to start taking away that light pollution. Already we're starting to see more stars. We're starting to see some stars inside that shape of Hercules. And once we're in a truly dark sky, you know, not only do we have the lovely glow of the Milky Way, but there's definitely some stars inside that rectangular-ish shape of Hercules. Oh, and there's a shooting star. So shooting stars happen. There's almost always some shooting stars in the sky. You can see we've got quite a low rate here, but this is a normal rate. The normal rate of meteors is quite low. You might get about 10 across the zenith at an hour. I've shown in previous videos that the rate can get higher when there is a meteor shower, but of course at this time of the year we don't have very long to see meteor showers. There are some meteor showers active at the moment. We can see them here. None of them are particularly big and impressive the way the Perseids and the Leonids can be, but just at the end of summer, as we come into August, that's when the Perseids are, and they're usually quite a fantastic meteor shower. We are going to push around to morning time. Even though we don't have much morning, you know, we're here at barely 4 o'clock and already the sun is very much shining into the sky. But we can see that there's going to be some constellations that have been missing for a while coming up as we move into the future as well. So we've got Pisces, Tauruses down there. Those constellations will be starting to become visible in the morning as we come into July. Here we go. And then as we go further into next month and into August. So the sky is changing, and in many ways it's changing for the better. Some things are getting easier to see, like Jupiter and Saturn. We're getting to see that sort of solstice glow that is only visible when you're reasonably close to the north. So we get a glow if you're further north. You actually get to see the sun in the middle of the night, and this isn't something that people at the equator get to see. So that's what we've got coming up over the next few days. I hope you get a chance to take a closer look, but unfortunately the nights are getting shorter, so we don't have quite as much time. We need to be a bit more choosy about what we look at. So even though many Messier objects are up, this time of year isn't fantastic to do the Messier marathon. So you can look back at our previous videos, but hopefully we will be taking another look at some Messier objects as we come into next month and into August, when we'll start to get back into those longer nights. So I hope you get a chance to see all of this wonderful stuff, and if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the blue bell icon to get the most up-to-date notifications.